Welcome to the Decade Project, where we will be discussing topics from 2010 to 2019. We will mainly be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC Extended Universe, Michael Bay's Transformers, Christopher Nolan films, Dead Mouse, In Search of Sunrise, Peru, the rise of Douyin and TikTok, and China's achievements. The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe experienced tremendous growth and evolution from 2010 to 2019, solidifying its dominant power in pop culture. Following the establishment of core characters like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye in Phase 1, the MCU expanded its universe and introduced new heroes and storylines in Phase 2 and 3. Phase 2 introduced characters like Falcon, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Ant-Man, Wasp, and the Guardians of the Galaxy while exploring the origin of the Infinity Stones. Phase 3 saw the arrival of Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and others, while focusing on the build-up and climax of Thanos' quest to collect the Infinity Stones. The MCU moved beyond standalone hero films and began weaving and connected storylines across multiple movies, culminating in the massive event films like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Phase 3 concluded the Infinity Saga, a narrative thread that began in Phase 1 and involved Thanos' pursuit of the powerful Infinity Stones. The MCU's success reached new heights with Phase 3 films collectively grossing over $13.5 billion worldwide. Avengers Endgame became the highest grossing film of all time, solidifying the MCU's global appeal and influence. The franchise gained critical acclaim for its diverse characters, engaging storylines, visual effects, and lighthearted tone. The MCU expanded beyond film by releasing TV shows on platforms like ABC, Netflix, and Hulu, further enriching its narrative universe. The franchise demonstrated its ability to blend superhero action with elements from other genres, such as political thrillers, space operas, and coming-of-age stories. The MCU continued to build its reputation for interconnected storytelling, with post-credit scenes that hinted at future developments and self-aware humor. In short, the MCU's journey from 2010 to 2019 was marked by its remarkable growth, culminating in the epic conclusion of the Infinity Saga and solidifying its place as a cinematic phenomenon that shaped pop culture.
The DC Extended Universe. Snyder brought a darker, more visually stylized approach to superhero films, emphasizing realism and deconstruction of iconic characters.
The films explored the ramifications of powerful beings existing on Earth, delving into philosophical themes of responsibility, sacrifice, and the nature of heroism. The Snyderverse established a shared universe with interconnected storylines and characters introductions, paving the way for team-ups and crossovers. Man of Steel rebooted Superman's origin story, focusing on his struggle to embrace his identity and purpose, culminating in a destructive battle with General Zod. Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice introduced Batman and Wonder Woman, exploring the conflict between Superman and Batman's ideologies while setting the stage for the formation of the Justice League. Justice League saw Batman and Wonder Woman recruiting a team of heroes to combat the threat of Steppenwolf and the forces of Apocalypse. Snyder's DCEU films received mixed critical reception and divided audiences. Some praised his unique vision, while others criticized the darker tones and perceived mischaracterizations. Concerns about the box office performance and critical response led to studio intervention in Justice League, resulting in Joss Whedon taking over directorial duties during post-production. #Release the Snyder Cut campaign emerged demanding the release of Zack Snyder's original cut of the Justice League. The campaign ultimately led to the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. Following the release of Justice League, the direction of the DCEU became uncertain, with Warner Bros. Seemingly moving away from Snyder's planned storyline. The future of characters like Ben Affleck's Batman and Henry Cavill's Superman became unclear, further solidifying the end of Snyder's specific vision for the shared universe. Warner Bros. Began exploring new approaches to DC films with projects like Aquaman and Shazam, adopting a lighter tone and aiming for broader audience appeal.
Michael Bay's Transformers.
Transformers: Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, and The Last Knight are known for their intense and visually spectacular action sequences, which often involve massive explosions, high-speed chases, and large-scale battles between robots. The movie featured advanced CGI and visual effects to bring the Transformers and their battles to life. Bay's films often feature a strong military presence, showcasing real-world vehicles and weaponry, and portray the military in a heroic light. The narratives often involve intricate plots with multiple storylines and a mix of human and transformer characters. The films are characterized by dramatic and improbable scenes, often involving world-ending threats and high stakes. The films delve into the mythology of the Transformers universe, exploring their history and origins. Each film features protagonists who are caught up in the conflict between Autobots and Decepticons. The film showcases a large ensemble of Autobots and Decepticons, each with unique designs and personalities. The movies blend intense action with humor, sometimes incorporating slapstick, witty dialogue, or comedic relief characters. While visually impressive, base Transformers films often receive mixed negative reviews. Critics cite issues like overly complex plots, excessive action, underdeveloped characters, and questionable humor. Despite the critical reception, these films were generally commercially successful, with both Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction grossing over $1 billion worldwide. Fan reactions are often divided. Some praise the visual spectacle and action, while others critique the plot, characters, and deviations from the source material.
Christopher Nolan. Between 2010 and 2019, Christopher Nolan cemented his place as a leading Hollywood director known for his ambitious, thought-provoking, and visually striking films. Inception became a mind-bending heist film exploring dreams and the subconscious. It was a major critical and commercial success and further established Nolan's reputation for complex storytelling. The Dark Knight Rises became the epic conclusion to Nolan's critically acclaimed Batman trilogy, focusing on themes of fear, hope, and social order. Interstellar deals with themes of time, space, and humanity's future, and showcases Nolan's ability to blend large-scale spectacle with philosophical depth. Dunkirk became a gripping and intense war film focusing on the evacuation of Allied soldiers from Dunkirk during World War II. It highlighted Nolan's talent for crafting immersive cinematic experiences with non-linear narrative structure. Nolan is known for crafting intricate and non-linear storylines that challenge and engage the audience. He strongly advocates using practical effects and minimizing CGI, prioritizing realism and immersive filmmaking. His films frequently delve into the nature of time and memory and their impact on human experience. Nolan's work often explores themes of identity, morality, obsession, and the duality of human nature. Nolan frequently collaborates with key crew members such as his wife Emma Thomas, his brother Jonathan Nolan, and composer Hans Zimmer, creating a distinctive Nolan style. In the 2010s, Christopher Nolan was a filmmaker pushing the boundaries of mainstream cinema. He delivered a string of critically acclaimed and commercially successful blockbusters that showcased his unique vision and mastery of the craft. His films during this period solidified his reputation as a visionary director with a strong signature style. Deadmau5.
Mouse achieved mainstream recognition in 2010 with the release of his album 4x4=12, which included iconic tracks like Raise Your Weapon. He continued releasing successful studio albums throughout the decade. Deadmau5 toured extensively and headlined major festivals and venues, often incorporating elaborate stage productions with his signature mouse head. His sound continues to evolve within progressive house and electro house, incorporating elements of techno and experimentation. The oversized mouse helmet became synonymous with Deadmau5, a visually distinctive element of his performance and public appearance. He engaged actively on social media, often voicing strong opinions and sparking debates about the music industry and other topics. He was known for his blunt and sometimes controversial critiques of aspects of the EDM scene, including ghost production and commercialization. He received multiple Grammy Award nominations throughout the decade, further solidifying his critical and commercial acclaim. His record label, Mousetrap, continued to grow, signing and supporting other electronic artists. He faced disputes, such as the Meowingtons trademark dispute regarding his cat's name. There were controversies about his online statements and actions, including his departure from social media at various points. In summary, the 2010s were a significant period for Deadmau5, marked by both professional highs and public controversy. He rose to mainstream popularity, consistently released successful music, and cultivated a highly recognizable public image, while also becoming known for his outspoken and sometimes controversial presence.
In Search of Sunrise. From 2010 to 2019, the In Search of Sunrise series and compilation album by Tiesto transitions from mixed by Tiesto to Richard Durant and then Marcus Schultz. During this period, the series saw changes in musical direction, incorporating new sounds while maintaining the overall In Search of Sunrise feel and featuring guest mixes. After Tiesto departed from Black Hole Recordings, Durant took over mixing duties for the series, and the series continued to release albums under Songbird. To celebrate the 10th installment, a contest was held to create a compilation mix from the previous In Search of Sunrise albums. The winner's mix was released as the third CD. Durant also began including guest mixes in later releases. In 2013, Marcus Schultz took over the series, bringing a new direction influenced by his pure trance mixes. The series' sound evolved throughout this period, with some albums leaning more towards progressive house and others embracing a more Balearic and trance feel. Even after Tiesto's departure, the In Search of Summer series continued to be a popular compilation album series within the electronic music scene. Peru. Peru was one of the prominent economic performers in Latin America, experiencing strong and sustained growth, averaging 5.1% annually between 2002 and 2019. This growth was primarily driven by external factors, particularly Peru's comparative advantage in commodities and a favorable international environment that boosted exports and incomes. Peru implemented social programs focusing on school meals, human capital development, elderly support, rural assistance, and early infant development, woven into a national social inclusion and development strategy. Peru made notable progress in reducing chronic malnutrition in children under 5. Despite successes, nutritional challenges persisted with high rates of anemia in young children. Social inequality also remained a challenge. Peru maintained democratic political institutions and underwent multiple peaceful power transfers. The period was marked by political instability and corruption scandals, which eroded public trust in democratic institutions and hampered political operations. Several presidents, including Ollanta Humala and Pedro Pablo Kuczynski, served during this period. Deforestation and illegal gold mining emerged as significant environmental issues impacting public health and agriculture. Air and water pollution and soil erosion were also key environmental concerns. In summary, between 2010 and 2019, Peru was characterized by strong economic growth, falling poverty rates, and advancement in social programs, particularly in health and nutrition. However, political instability and corruption undermined public trust, and environmental challenges like deforestation and illegal mining posed serious threats. The rise of Douyin and TikTok. In 2014, Musical.ly, a lip-syncing app, was launched and gained popularity among teenagers in the West. In 2016, ByteDance launched Douyin in China, a similar short video platform that quickly took off. Within a year of its launch, Douyin amassed 100 million users and saw over a billion videos viewed daily. In 2017, ByteDance launched TikTok as the international version of Douyin. Recognizing the potential of the Western market, ByteDance acquired Musical.ly in late 2017 for a substantial sum. In August 2018, ByteDance merged Musical.ly with TikTok, creating a single global platform. Following the merger, TikTok's popularity surged, becoming the most downloaded app in the US by October 2018, surpassing established platforms. By February 2019, TikTok and Douyin combined reached 1 billion downloads worldwide. TikTok was cited as the 7th most downloaded mobile app of the decade and the most downloaded app on Apple's App Store in 2018 and 2019. TikTok's success can be attributed to its engaging short video format, catchy music, and emphasis on creativity, which resonated strongly with a young demographic. The story of TikTok and Douyin is one of simultaneous success in the East and West, culminating in their merger. ByteDance's strategic acquisitions, global expansion, and understanding the short video format propelled TikTok's rapid growth. The platform's emphasis on user-generated content, trendy challenges, and music made them especially popular with younger audiences. Douyin, in particular, offered diverse content, including learning materials, making it a versatile platform for younger users. While initially focused on lip-syncing, the platforms evolved to encompass a wide range of content, including comedy, dance, tutorials, and more. By the end of 2019, TikTok and Douyin have firmly established themselves as major players in the social media landscape, setting the stage for continued growth and global dominance in the following years. China's achievements. China surpassed Japan in 2010 to become the world's second largest economy by nominal GDP. The country's space program achieved notable milestones, including lunar missions like Chang'e 3 and Chang'e 4. China continued to expand its high-speed rail network, becoming a global leader in this technology. China undertook massive infrastructure development projects, including roads, airports, and ports. The country continued its rapid urbanization process, leading to the development of new cities and the expansion of existing ones. The period witnessed explosive growth of Chinese social media platforms, with homegrown alternatives dominating. Tencent's WeChat emerged as a super app offering various services beyond messaging, including mobile payment, social networking, and e-commerce. WeChat's user base grew rapidly, reaching over 1 billion monthly active users by 2019. Sina Weibo, a microblogging platform similar to Twitter, also gained significant popularity with hundreds of millions of users. A diverse social media ecosystem developed, encompassing platforms like Youku Todu, Douyin, Meitu, and Shihu. The widespread adoption of smartphones and faster internet speeds fueled a surge in digital music and movie consumption. Music streaming platforms like Kugou Music, QQ Music, and Kuwo, all owned by Tencent Music Entertainment, rose to prominence. By 2019, China's music streaming market was the second largest in the world. Video streaming platforms like Iqiyi, Youku, and Tencent Video became major players in the entertainment landscape, offering a vast library of films and TV series. Traditional physical music and movie formats declined as digital consumption became the norm. China's domestic film industry experienced a significant boom, driven by government support, technological advancements, and rising consumer demand. Films like The Wandering Earth, a science fiction epic, and Nasia, an animated fantasy, broke box office records and showcased the growing capabilities of Chinese filmmaking. China's revenues grew substantially during this period, with domestic films gaining a larger market share. The construction of modern cinemas across the country further facilitated the growth of the film industry. China's global influence and standing in international affairs increased substantially during this period. China continued to modernize its military capabilities.
In 2010, the Auburn Tigers entered the season with a new starting quarterback. That quarterback was former Florida Gator Cam Newton. Cam once showed promise at Florida, but was ultimately kicked off the team and forced to transfer after stealing a laptop. Cam decided to transfer to Blinn College, where he would revive his career and win Blinn a JUCO national title. After that, he decided to transfer to Auburn. Entering the 2010 season, the Tigers were expected to have a solid year, with them being projected to win 8 games. But ultimately, out of nowhere, Cam ended up having one of the greatest seasons of all time, with over 2,000 passing yards and 30 touchdowns in the air, and over 1,000 rushing yards and 20 touchdowns on the ground. Cam led the Tigers to an undefeated season, with many big wins, but most notably was probably their final regular season game. In their final regular season game, Auburn traveled to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to play their rivals, the Alabama Crimson Tide, in the Iron Bowl at Bryant-Denny Stadium. In the end, Newton led his team to a 28-27 victory over the Alabama Crimson Tide. This win also handed Nick Saban his first loss to the Tigers while coaching the Tide. A couple weeks later, Auburn would travel to Atlanta, Georgia to play the South Carolina Gamecocks in the SEC Championship game, where they would ultimately win 35-27. Newton would end off his college career by beating out Stanford's Andrew Luck, Boise State's Kellen Moore, and Oregon's LaMichael James for the most prestigious award in all in college football, the Heisman Award. Cam would also lead Auburn to a national title victory over the Oregon Ducks. When his Auburn career was all said and done, Cam would enter the 2011 draft, where he would go first overall to the Carolina Panthers. With the Panthers, Newton would win Rookie of the Year and break several rookie records. He would also lead them to a 15-1 record in 2015, where Cam would win the MVP and lead them to a Super Bowl appearance, where they ultimately lost to the Peyton Manning-led Denver Broncos.
And there we have it, all the things that have happened in the decade between 2010 to 2019.